There are stations that people simply pass through, and then there are stations that quietly become part of people's lives. For thousands across Sydney's southwest, Minto is exactly that kind of place. A station where commuters begin their mornings before sunrise. A station where freight trains thunder past carrying goods across the country. A station where generations of families have grown up together. And for one customer service attendant who has stood on these platforms for more than 20 years, Minto isn't just a workplace. It's home. Located on Sydney's main south line between Ingleburn and Lamia, Minto Station has become one of the most important transport hubs of the Macarthur region. Every week, thousands of passengers move through these platforms. Workers heading into the city, students making their morning dash for school, parents with prams, shift workers returning home long after midnight. To many, it's just another stop on the T8 airport and South Line. But spend enough time here and you begin to notice something different. There's familiarity. People greet each other by name. Regular commuters know exactly where the train doors will stop. The morning coffee orders are already remembered before they're spoken. This station has watched Minto change. What was once a quiet suburban community has grown rapidly over the years into a busy multicultural and constantly moving part of Sydney. And through all of it, the station has remained the centre point. Today, modern suburban services move through Minto from early morning until late at night. Waratah sets, Tangara sets, Millenniums, and occasionally older rolling stock in years gone by. Each generation of trains telling its own story about Sydney's changing railway network. But suburban passenger trains are only half the story, because just beyond these commuter platforms, another railway operates almost like a world of its own. Running alongside Minto Station and the local line is the dedicated freight line, a corridor built for movement on a completely different scale. While commuters wait for the next all-station service, freight trains thunder through carrying containers, steel, grain, fuel, and goods bound for every corner of the country. Locomotives roar through like mechanical thunderstorms, shaking the platforms as they pass. And for all rail enthusiasts, Minto has become one of those fascinating locations where suburban and freight operations exist side by side. You might catch interstate locomotives leading container services south, trip trains working local freight terminals, maintenance vehicles, occasional unusual consists, or late night workings that most commuters never even realise are there. One of the most interesting movements around Minto is the traffic entering the Minto Macarthur Freight Terminal. These trip trains quietly connect local industry with the wider national freight network, sometimes arriving slowly under fading evening light and sometimes disappearing into the darkness long after the passenger's peak has ended. The suburban railway belongs to the rush of people, but the freight line belongs to industry, logistics, and the hidden machinery that keeps cities alive. And here at Minto, both worlds meet. But no matter how many trains pass through Minto, the real story of this station has always been its people. And few people understand that better than Henry Menezes. Henry has worked at Minto Station for more than 20 years. In railway terms, that's enough time to witness entire generations pass through the gates. Children he once watched rushing to school are now adults. Some now arrive at the station holding the hands of children of their own. The station has become more than somewhere he worked. It became part of the rhythm of the community of life. Ask long-serving railway staff about their stations and they rarely begin talking about trains. They talk about people. The regular commuter who catches the same service every morning. The elderly passenger who needs a little bit of an extra help. The school students who grow up before your eyes. The conversations, the familiar faces, and the small moments that most people never notice. And at a place like Minto, those moments matter. Henry's story stretches far beyond the railway. Outside work, he became known for his passion for music and community. For years, he's played the gumat, a traditional East Indian percussion instrument made from clay and lizard skin, bringing rhythm and celebration to church gatherings, cultural events, and family occasions. It's a reminder that stations are filled with people carrying entire worlds of stories with them every single day. Not just passengers or rail workers, but people. Minto itself hasn't changed enormously over the years. New housing, new families, new communities, more trains, more movement and more people. But there's still something unmistakably local about the station. Stations like Minto remind us that even in all that movement, communities still exist. And perhaps that's why places like this matter more than most people realise. Because railways are not just steel rails and concrete platforms. They are memory, routine and connection. They become woven into people's lives so gradually that most never even notice it's happening. For railway workers, it's simply another shift. For enthusiasts, it's another chance to witness something unusual. And for commuters, it's their journey home. But together, it forms the living heartbeat of the network. From modern suburban fleets to heavy interstate freight, from quiet early mornings to crowded afternoon peaks, and from lifelong railway staff to the first-time passengers, Minto Station carries thousands of stories every single week. Most pass by unnoticed, but they are there all the same. So next time your train slows beneath the footbridge at Minto, take a moment to look around, because stations are more than infrastructure. They are gathering places, witnesses to changing communities, quiet stages where everyday life unfolds. And here at Minto, behind every passing train, there's a human story waiting to be told. If you have a station in mind that you'd like to see a spotlight on, or a staff member that always goes above and beyond, let me know in the comments below. Until next time.